David is based in Queens, familiar to me, where I grew up. A poet, translator, occasional actor, and director. He studied Francophone literature, focusing on poetry and theater. He is a voracious reader, a film, TV, and comic book buff, and knows more about French hip hop than we could possibly imagine. You might find him where he lives in Queens and on Waxy and Poetic, which is a wonderful website. David Siller.
All right, thanks, Mark. Um, and I'll just jump into the poetry. I try not to give too many sort of explanations or anything. So this first one's called Sing the Truth, Name the Liars, for and after Salman Rushdie. Even with one eye, we will see to it that truths like hymns will lyric, chime, call, respond. With no eyes, we will listen, repeat the summons of wild struggles, of crackling tire fires, of whale song, of forest lamentation, of the boiling of the seas and the burying of the truths. Muted, out of breath or lung, we will name the evils, the obstructions, the obfuscations. We will entitle the warriors, praise the poets, elegize those who are lost, call home those who are unfound. The rhetoric will prosecute and persuade. Pages, pulpits, public addresses will amp and declaim. The silences will never be longer than muzzle flash, than knife slash, than bomb whistle, than whisper of the thing which is not, because we chorus. And this one is called The Subway is the Best Place to Cry. Anonymous community nestled in the belly of metallic earthworm, snaking its way through labyrinthine connections that link this nameless family, brother wanderer, sister traveler. We see you, your tears commuting down cheekbones beside bridge. Who knows the last stop where we'll exit this liquid catharsis? We may not reach out. We will not, but we are being held momentarily. You are being held momentarily. This embrace is the city giving you space. This entanglement is the concrete jungle greening you for overgrowth. We will be moving shortly. You will be moving on shortly. Take our seat, take our hand, change where you like for your final destination. And this one's called Word Problems. How many poems is too many poems? We mark our tragedies mathematically. 75 minutes equals 19 plus 2. Tops friendly prices, injure 3, get 10 killed. If there's a parade, how do you add in 6 plus dozens? If you amass them daily, how soon do you surpass 331? Of course, thoughts plus prayers equals nothing. How many bodies is too many bodies? We shortcut the tragedies, fractioning their weight like ratios of importance. 9 over 11, 11 over 8, 5 over 14, 7 over 4, always increasing by whole numbers, another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. How many rounds is too many rounds? You can substitute variables as random as you like, grocery, elementary, park, club. You can divide the solutions, but always end up multiplying the problems. And despite the grade school education that should have made it all so simple, the only math that matters, the only solution that counts, adding more guns. And I'll end on an upbeat one. This one's called It's All Just a Formula. Maybe the classical Trinity rules of place and time and action have morphed a bit, but there's always a place and a time and some action. And you can count the acts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can pick the conflict updated for representational inclusivity, human versus human, human versus God, human versus nature, human versus self, human versus technology. And maybe we can take some 21st century liberties and say human versus alien or human versus history, but that's it. That's all. And they only show up in comedies or tragedies, which we these days call dramas. And maybe, just maybe, dromedaries are the in-between thing, but the Greeks didn't make masks for that. And maybe, just maybe, the once required weddings are now just happy endings, and there are tragic endings that we just call sad. And maybe, just maybe, after Sartre and others, a third option, existential dread. And there are laughters and tears and sentiment and settling. Even if you tell it backwards or puzzle it together like a moving mosaic, it's all just a form. Places both hands on face. Shut up and just kiss me. Just kiss me.
Thank you, David. I mean, for myself, David is part of my a group that meets a weekly poetry workshop group. We present our poems, the ones that we're working on, and now to see the fully developed form after seeing that in its original form is really interesting, and it really does work very well. Very unique, different styles that you do, always keeping me on guard as to what's going to come next. Thank you, David. That's great. Sure. Leonard, I have your poems now. We'll gladly share them. Here you go. Lennart Lundh.
Okie dokie. Three things about the apocalypse, one sort or another. Buried in the yard. I told my folks, I said, yeah, I know. You've come a long way, but you can't stay here. I told my sister the same thing. I said, it's our bunker and there's just no room for you. This is what the end of the world's done to us. I'm sorry I had to shoot her cat to make my point. Rose of Jericho. I live with a woman who has earth in her hair. We walk the land together, often searching, seeking seeds and seedlings to take away, to take back as green bricks for the future we have promised to leave the children. I toil with a woman who has skies in her hair, long locks tangled by the breeze that sings while we blacken our hands, turning the soil. As we sweat above the fire, boiling to be soup, in sunsets changing air to orange and rose. I swim with a woman who has ocean salts and fresh water in her hair, who calls fish to come and feed the ones we shelter. In the evening, she bathes with me, and the river's laughter cleanses us. I love with a woman who has fire in her hair, auburn tresses burning and age smoked as she closes the long day in my arms, as we carry each other forward in dreams, and she calls me to dance with her at dawn. Our lives are elementary, our life an amalgam of wishes whispered sweetly in an ear, hopes balancing fears with the aid of strength that is the sum of more than parts and partings. This is what romance becomes in the apocalypse. And last, later evolutions. Were there men or women still they might discuss, dissent Darwin's insight or some God's intentions as to modifying miracles and mercies? And after all the words would wonder, at that moment, having trouble reading this one. And after all the words would wonder at the monarchs on high honeysuckle, bowing in the breezes. For the butterflies sing now with such strong, sweet voices in the silences we left. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And thank you, Leonard, for this is always very well crafted stuff. Really nice work. Look forward to seeing it again too. And to maybe catching up with you one day in Chicago now that we're neighbors.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. We'll talk.
Oh, sure. And our next poet is Younes, how do you pronounce it? AआओMARI?
It's Younes AÅMARI.
Younes AÅMARI.
Yeah.
Also known as a stage name as Otakuflow.
Otakuflow.
Otakuflow. Thank you for helping me.
Otakuflow, yeah.
Is a 22-year-old Moroccan spoken word poet and public speaker, currently pursuing his bachelor's degree in mechanical design at Zhejiang Normal University in China. He's one of the founders of the Moroccan Poets and host of Mike. I can't read that, but
مفتوح,
ah,
which
one
is
of
just like open mic in Arabic.
an Arab open mic in Arabic, one of the first weekly poetry open mics in North Africa. Also a member of the collective union that organized D'KLAM Morocco's poetry slam, the first poetry slam organized fully by Moroccan artists. He got published in the Space City Underground Literary Magazine and by Paris Lit Up Association. And I've heard you read, and I'm excited to present you to us. And now, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's really a pleasure to be here. So I'm gonna start with this one. It's titled Not a Bedtime Story. Once upon a time, in a sky between the skies, there was an angel, one of the closest to the gods. This angel couldn't find the answer to the main reason behind human creation, the reason why humans are God's favorite creation. He could never find the courage to ask. He was afraid to end up like Lucifer. The angel thought about it through all the ages that humans took part of their pages. He couldn't find the answer. The angel saw that his ability to answer is probably held by his nature, being an angel. The angel gave up his wings, his ability to fly, his light shining feather, his shining light, to fit in with humans in their human society. With his vision, he couldn't stop wondering how humans made themselves fake hells and heavens, how they gave the power to some people to decide for others while they are in their heavens, how some humans create themselves hellholes, how others name hell heaven, how the ones in heaven are okay with the others in hell, and the people in hell doesn't question the possession of heaven by others, neither their position. Thinking about all of this, the angel started losing his purpose, his pureness also. The angels still haven't found the answer to the reason behind human creation. Now the angel fits in the human society without his large wings, and without his large wings, the angel fits Hell's Gate and can pass smoothly. This one is titled TikToks, and it goes like this: tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, an endless recurring clock talk, which translates to, in English, the early birds catch the worm. In Arabic, الوقت كالسيف إن لم تقطعه قطعك. In French, ce n'est pas le temps qui manque, c'est nuit qui lui manque. In Chinese, it's Tsunguang, it's Tsunjin Namai Tsunguang. Our ancestors in every part of the globe all agreed that time is urgent, valuable, and powerful, a life substance that every mortal deals with in his short life, which is a count of moment that everyone is accountable for making them countable. Tick tock, tick tock. If you hear it, that means you're still alive. If you hear it, that means you're dying. So make sure you live, not only survive and enjoy all the ticks and talks. Eventually, we're gonna die. The clock will keep ticking, talking, because time don't give a fuck about us. We give fucks about it. And my third poem is actually also my first poem getting published, and it's titled A Slice of Resistance. This is not a watermelon. This is the flag of rebellion against the Zionist oppression. This is the flag of the most resilient, the people of the Greenland, the Palestinians. This is not sweet fruit. This grew with skunk water and sweat in its soil. This grew out of turmoil and resistance. This is what they'll keep harvesting whenever they breach our holy land. Sour and bitter resistance. Because there won't be any peace while the Greenland is still in pieces, cut, burned, demolished, attacked, violated, and rained over with bombs that dig deep, deep enough for hell to rise from below the ground, for the devil to party on innocence' deathbed. This is not just a watermelon. This is not a conflict. This is not a war. It's one-sided. Call it what it is. Israel is a settling colonial state, and what they are doing is genocide and apartheid. The fight for justice and freedom is ongoing and never ending until Palestine is free from the river to the sea. Long live the olive tree. And to end it on a small, softer note, this one is titled Scars, and it's a pantoum. It's one of the old poetry forms. It's just me kind of experimenting with the forms that I don't really stick to. Before the mental growth, we develop physically, in terms of size, strength, and ability. Through that journey, we live experiences. In terms of size, strength, and ability, we endure different kinds of hardship. Through that journey, we live experiences that can leave us scarred. We endure different kinds of hardship, which makes the past sound easy. That can leave us scarred. Scars that marks pain and healing, which makes the past sound easy. We develop physically scars that marks pain and healing before the mental growth. And that's my time, everyone. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for having me.
Oh, still stuck on the page there. As is often said, good poetry keeps you on the page, and literature, good prose gets you to turn the page because you want to know what's going to happen next. But poetry, you stay on the page. How many languages do you speak? And you speak English so well, and you write English so well.
I speak 3 languages, and if I want to really be bold, I would say Chinese as well. But I only speak the basic daily life Chinese, and that was a bit better when I was in China. I'm not in China now, so.
Oh, well, as a performance poet, which you've won a lot of slams and things like that. Do you like the idea of the seeing the craft on the screen like you've shown us? It's very unique.
Yes, I've tried that before. It's especially with poems that are meant to be read. So like
Mm.
I write both spoken word and page poems, and like there are poems that are better experienced when they are seen on a page, of course. And so it's a different experience, but I love it.
That's a great way of putting it. Thank you, and thank you for joining us. Indeed. So our
Thank you so much for having me.
our final poet, and then maybe we can have a little bit of an open discussion, and maybe Gustav or Aisha or others can share a poem with us afterwards as well, since you're here. Is Duane? I have your poem, by the way. I have your work, Duane. Duane is a Vorhees, yes, is a retired to Thailand after teaching for the University of Maryland in Korea and Japan. Hog Press of Ames, Iowa, has recently published 3 of his poetry collections: Heaven Gift, God Runs Through All These Rooms, and The Many Loves of Duane Vorhees. And he is nearly ready with the 4th. He often posts his work on Facebook, and I've seen your work before and look forward to presenting it. Hi, Duane. Duane, yes?
Duane.
Duane, okay, here you go.
Yes. Okay.
I'll get
So
your poems on in a second, sure.
All right.
And a most interesting presentation indeed it is. Here.
Wow.
Yeah, since people get to actually see these poems, I chose poems that are visual in nature. Most of my poems look pretty conventional, more or less, but these are special for this program. Savannah, ablaze with hunger, discovery, epiderm ants run electric against this plain. Through your curly grasses, these soft yellow lions probe, and under the ripe vultures in the briar trees, my young chimps romp upon golden mounds. Oh, the wind glows with dust and dark mystery. And oh, the moon howls above us. And your river swallows my aardvark. This one is much harder to read. Piecemeal. That night we dined. We had port and escargot and music. And the candles kissed the wine, the way one would hold pearls or fine china. We were refugees weighing into port from China, some other far where. The port purled on her lips like dew on rosebuds. Fine food, our lips barely touched. Minds not on hold or cargo. Words chilled in the air. Finally, she said, we're through. We were refugees weighing into port from China. The port purled on her lips like dew on rosebuds, like rain on ship sail, as from her port she slipped. The rosebud parted, blossomed, grew toward the sun in my eyes, kissed the sun and cried. And I cried too. And then we left, as diners do when they are finished. Her barbed wire lips, her waterfall eyes. Why is my eye not the same eye as our eye, your eye, their eye, etc.? Let's meet any Wednesday where my we invites our them to break bread with their them, us, and eyes together are. Eyeless we-ness incorporates they-ness, thyness, till allness is. But beware, I begets they if we neglects me, our usness minus minus. So any part of or part from I-ness may well martyrize my we. When I was at Ohio State University for a while, somebody came on. He was a celebrity of the time. In fact, he was the inventor of I've Got a Secret. He was a very popular one-hit wonder. Hello, Mother, Hello, Father. Here I am in Camp Granada. Anyway, he fancied himself as a poet, and he claimed that he wrote a poem that was all composed of one-syllable words. Well, it didn't take more than a few lines to see that actually that wasn't true. He had quite a few words that were more than one syllable. But anyway, that got me to write this. So instead of just having one-syllable words, I have one-syllable rhyming lines. And so I call that a couplet. This kiss of love is gay sin in our powerful, dull, half-savage age. My shy rose from some shit. It grew through this piss and sand. Smiles piled on wan base faces. Escaped, caped like kites on drawn low bowstring stems. From numb earth mirthless nest to bloom among strung out louts, ape shapes, crime time TV, and bands of love-starved dwarfs. I tried too to plant phantom more thin. That didn't work out right. Okay, phantom mums.
More poor.
More.
More poor.
Okay, we're kind of caught here. Okay, because it goes from one page to the next. Okay, let me just back up a moment. Okay, so I too tried to plant phantom mums, more poor thin sins, but cut them when my shy rose froze. And I guess to take that even further, these are just individual letters that sound like words. The poem is ID for T.S. Eliot. Our age, an age of excess, P and VO. An age of benign TV, an icy forum, an empty essay, a sea of Elysian video effects to envy, a cello to pee into, HS enemy to KO, an eye for an eye for an eye, KG foreign images to expiate, a chesty U for any canine, an easy ecstasy for a fee. I foresee a queue to wait in before benign euphorious. Why? KS, a yell, a CS SOS. Why am I? Am I to be in a queue forever? Oh, 9. I am to deviate, to excel, to emanate. I am to elevate, to aviate. I am to be a B. I, a J, a B42. I am to see. I am to foresee. I am CCC. I am to be our aegis, CIA, FBI, CNM, IBM, TM, ICBM, GM, PRESP, LSD, STD, UFO, and 1.
That was an experience for all of us. I mean,
That's
I
wild
guess
stuff
that's one
there.
way of putting it.
Pretty wild.
that's very wild to hear and see concrete poem like that, whatever you call it. I think done, and I look forward to reviewing that again. I was getting some of it, but it happened so fast, you know. But that's just very
It doesn't
creative.
get any better slowly.
Well, thank you. And I see we're able to be joined by Unmesh Mohitkar. Welcome, and you'll close us out, I guess, Unmesh. Mesh, are you up and at it? I guess it's early in the morning for you. Hi.
Yeah,
Well,
hey,
thank you for
hi.
joining. I guess the hour is tough for you. Unmesh lives in India and is fairly well known by a large crowd of all of us who love him and follow his open mic on Saturdays, Unmesh Live. He's an engineer by trade, a visionary poet. His book Light Shadow Life, The Missing Verse of the Soul, is a bestseller among Zoo Poetry World. Indeed, he has a weekly mic which we all go to, and has been a big influence on me, and a good friend as well. And I warmly welcome Unmesh to read with us. Or I
Cool.
should say, as Unmesh says, the tremendously talented, amazing Unmesh.
Thank you, thanks a lot. Okay, let me share my screen. I don't know where it has gone. Just give me a second. Okay. Sorry for that. Hopefully you are able to see.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Living dead. I will start with this one. Living dead I was, wandering directionless. You were not when you were not with me. You infused life in me. You told me that I was alive and breathing, touching me lovingly, caringly. Worried about my heartbeats and heavy breathing, always concerned about you because you are family. Oh, those stress levels which you tell me even when laughing friends surround me, making me aware that stress and strain are part of my life. You just can't run away from it. Your beautiful face. You are in so much love with me. You change yourself as per my wish. You know, I like change. You know, I like change. You know, I like change. People in my life have changed me brutally like a forest without trees beyond recognition. You spoil me like a millionaire's dog because you are family. When I am alone, you cheer me up. With music, you are fantastic. You are God with instruments as well as vocals. You wake me in the morning and remind me of the open mics which I need to attend, birthdays which I want to skip. How lucky I am that you are a family. You are my life partner. You are with me when I am rappelling down the mountains. You are with me when I am bungee jumping. In fact, you swim with me in rivers and sea. You love me. Your love for me is not fickle like weather. You are rock solid. You are family. Riding with me on my bike. You show me directions. You are never wrong. You are aware of every nook and corner, every turn and return, just to help me reach my destination, which sometimes I forget. You know, I am a traveler without destination. You push me towards the ultimate goal of life, which is not known even to me. You are family. You are a beauty. You are smart. You are tough. You are my life. You are the most precious. You are more precious than lifeless diamonds. I am under your watch. You are my water resistant, shock proof, shining new smartwatch. You are my new smartwatch. Don't be surprised. I did pay a heavy price for you. Of course, it was Amazon great sale, whatever it is. You are family. Whatever it is, you are family. So that was the first one. So let me read one more. Uh,
You are my smart. You are my smart.
uh, uh, okay. Here. I don't know. Today it's not working for me. I'm trying to share the screen. Where it's going, I don't know. Okay, I will just read. I don't know what are you able to see. So this is the last one.
You could just, yeah, we see this.
Yeah, I will just
Yeah,
read.
we see it
Okay.
moving. Yeah, yeah.
Climbing the mountains, running with the rivers, looking into the valley at the reflection of my soul. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain, running clouds, hiding sun, thundering lightnings, rainbows, shining, splashing colors, coloring life, leaving the screen, kicking away the machine. I am back where I should be, in the lap of nature. No one to judge, no one to blame, no pressure. Is it real? The joy is so rare, away from fears, changing gears, call of the green, new day. and a brand new scene. New day and a brand new scene. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Hmm. Thank you,
Uh,
Unmesh. Yes,
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Mark. Sorry
sure.
for the glitch because
No,
I don't
no,
know, things are not working today, but thanks.
no. It looks a little early for you in the morning, I think, is it not?
Yeah, it's 4 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, gee. Thank you, Unmesh, for coming by and closing us off with that. Uh, I'll remember that thing about the stopwatch for your Amazon watch, amongst other of your images. Well, that completes the formal poet, Planet Poetry for this once. Then thank you all for coming. I thought it was great. We have a little bit of time. For some people that were here that were not part of the